sports fans, does it strike you as odd that the popularity of fantasy sports continues to grow, but the game itself never seems to change? Drafting players to be a part of your fantasy team is cool, but are you looking for something new? If you're a sports fan and you actively look for new ways to have fun and compete while watching sports, you gotta check out StatementGames.com. That's StatementGames.com. Statement Games is a new, simple, yet innovative form of sports gaming that is changing the way thousands of fans view sporting events. With Statement Games, you select player and game props or statements to compete in tournaments for prizes. Sign up for free using your Google or Facebook account. No credit card or debit card information is required. Try StatementGames.com today and watch how we take fantasy sports to the next level.
StatementGames.com. That's StatementGames.com.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing? I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here. That's what you've earned here tonight.
Forget about the crowd. It's the size of the school. Their fancy uniforms. And remember what got you here. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the difference between winning and losing.
It's down to the wire with Errol Marks and Speedy Petey.
Oh, Petey!
On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome, Long Island, New York, and around the country. This is Down to the Wire. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Speedy Petey. As you know, you can reach us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. You can search us on all our social medias from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, radio.com, iTunes, all of them. Go check us out on all the social media markets. We are on there, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. And Speedy Petey, we have a lot to talk about. Even though there's no sports going on right now around the world, we have a lot of sports and a lot of subjects we want to get into, and topics that maybe people aren't talking about, topics that bother me, and I want to get into conversation about it. And why not talk about something that will get politics and all sports fans involved in the conversation from this coronavirus? But first things first, Speedy Petey, how was your night? I mean, what did you do? I mean, besides me cook you a wonderful dinner.
You did. Thank you for that. And I just mainly edited and watched stuff. And then today I traveled with you around wherever you went. And, of course, witnessed you having to take shots at Conor McGregor.
Yes. Which seems to be everywhere I go. I have other sports fans or just talking to a mechanic at Pep Boys taking a nail out of my tire, just getting into conversations about MMA and possibly stirring up some beef even more here in Long Island with MMA fans. But I had a good time. It was a good half an hour of watching them rip a nail out of my nice tires and plugging it up and talking and talking a little MMA with these guys. It was great. You liked it.
I did. I said you should have brought the equipment. You could have done a nice little half-hour show.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I thought people enjoyed it. I thought I enjoyed it. I think they enjoyed it too because
I was just laughing because I'm like, of course he's arguing about Conor McGregor again.
Well, I wasn't arguing about Conor McGregor. I'm just stating the facts about Conor McGregor. But I want to get off of Conor McGregor. So I wanted to get into this particular story. And to me, we always talk about what is the most important position in professional sports. We talk about this all the time. We talk about pitching because pitching really wins championships. You watch baseball all these years. The dominant pitching staff usually beats the best lineup in professional baseball. So you always look for the two top pitchers and you look at, like for instance, you talk about the Nationals. The Nationals had arguably the best rotation in baseball last year, adding Corbin. And you saw what that pitching staff could do back-to-back-to-back times in a playoff series. It's just complete domination with pitching. And that's what happens. That's what you need. But that's baseball. The best player in baseball is not a pitcher. He's a hitter. He's a center fielder on the Angels. Mike Trout. And then we talk about what Garrett Cole got, the $336 million contract from the New York Yankees for the 9-year deal, which made absolutely no sense as a Yankee fan, even though he was an awesome and available pitcher the Yankees needed to pick up to give them that boost to possibly giving them their next championship. But I don't even think baseball, when you talk about pitching, is the most important, most strategic position you need to win championships. You talk about hockey, and everybody talks about, well, goaltending is the most important thing. You get a hot goalie going into the playoffs, he'll take you all the way to a championship and win you championships. You don't need the best player if you have a hot goaltender or a good goaltender. And everybody says to have the backbone of a goaltender right behind you, you know that's going to be there, reliable for you for years and years and years. That's the guy you want over the big-time goal scorer or the best defensive player. You want the guy that's going to keep you in games no matter what. Goaltending, hockey. And then you talk about all the other sports, football being the other one. And we don't get into basketball because it's...
They can win with anything.
You can win with anything. Everybody says the most important position in basketball is the point guard position. It's an important position, but you need good positions in every single position that you have on your team. Just a lot of depth.
I think that when you look at it, the best players and most well-rounded players are either shooting guards or small forwards for the most part.
Exactly. But football, everybody says the quarterback. To have a star quarterback gives you the best chance of winning a Super Bowl. Now, over the years, you look at the contracts, the crazy contracts these starting quarterbacks are getting now, which is ridiculous. You have quarterbacks who are not even amongst the league's best asking for $40 million right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks he's going to get it. And maybe if he has another good season, the Cowboys or somebody else will give him that. But who knows? $40 million for a Dak Prescott, I think they're out of their minds. But that's just me. But I'll tell you this right now. Everybody says it's the quarterback, and I don't think it's the quarterback in football. I really don't. You look at free agency, and you watch in football. Now you're seeing the free agency market just completely spiral out of control. You're seeing this guy move over here, that guy move over there. How many times did we see that 6, 7, 8 years ago? We never saw that. We see 1 or 2 moves in the offseason, and that's it. Now free agency, this guy gets picked up by this team. This guy gets picked up from that team. It becomes a free-for-all for teams and organizations.
Players are becoming fussier. That's what it is.
Yeah, they're becoming prima donnas like Odell Beckham. But again, you look at the quarterback position, everybody says, that's the position. That's what I want to be. Russell Wilson had a choice between playing professional baseball as a second baseman and maybe have to wait a couple of years in the farm systems and build up a rapport and get an opportunity to be a major league player, or decide to do what he did and became a quarterback in the NFL. And you talk about Kyler Murray. Everybody talks about how great Kyler Murray was and this and that at baseball. He decided to give up $5 million of a bonus contract he got from who? What team?
Oakland.
Just to get out of contract to become a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, they make
Why?
first-round money. That makes sense.
Well,
If you're gonna go
why? Think about it this way. He could have been a bigger superstar. You make more guaranteed money as a professional baseball player.
You do, but I'm saying in terms of minor leagues versus the first-round
You know, the
pick
A's aren't
money-
going to pay you anyway, so the A's aren't going to give you a lot of money.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying first-round pick money versus minor league contract money, even with the $5 million bonus, is going to be more. So if Kyler Murray figures out that the NFL maybe is too physical for him or he doesn't fit there or whatever, after his rookie contract, he might even shift back and go back into baseball and try to get into it maybe as a late bloomer type. And then
No,
he'll get
he
his
won't
money.
do that. He won't
I
do
could
that.
see that. Yeah, I could see that happening.
I can't see it happening.
Because he is young enough and he's fast enough.
But that
where I
has
think
nothing
can
to do with
happen.
the argument of the most important position in professional sports. I mean, I ask you guys, and I know a lot of people will argue the points that it is the quarterback. It is the quarterback. That's what I want to be. That's where I want to run the organization. I want to be the face of the organization. When I will tell you this, in more cases than none in professional football, the quarterback is not the face of the organization. Go look at the teams right now in football and tell me how many quarterbacks are the face of their organization now. And my answer would be not more than 12. Not more than 12. There are only 5 or 6 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. And then to me, they go from elite to great to good to okay. And to bad. And I will tell you this, there is not a bad quarterback in the NFL. There really isn't. I'm not talking about the backup quarterbacks. I'm talking about starting quarterbacks. There are not bad quarterbacks in the NFL that are starting for an NFL team. There really isn't. Or they wouldn't be starters on those teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots that aren't open right now
Yeah,
because
there's no superstar quarterbacks.
Right, there's
really
probably
that you could really oppose to think besides the old ones and maybe a few new ones.
Right, there's probably 40 quarterbacks just across the league that are capable starters, whether they're good starters or not. At least they're capable starting quarterbacks. There's, again, young players with upside. There's obviously the star starting quarterbacks. So that immense to so much, where previously we were seeing teams have to experiment with quarterbacks and have a lot of bad starting quarterbacks around the league.
And to me, when you look at the quarterback position, it is an important position, but now when you look at football, teams are starting to say, you know what? If I build around an offensive line, a good offensive line with one big-time superstar that nobody even talks about, and he's every year an all-pro player, a Pro Bowl player, and I could build around that one player, I can win championships doing it that way. With a good quarterback.
Problem is with that is offensive line is also a team unit, though, so one player doesn't necessarily save everybody else.
But one guy can help build a line through that guy.
Right. I'm just saying you can't have 4 awful ones out after that either. You still need to have some level of decent ones beyond that.
And that's why when you watch Phillip Rivers this year, and I'm going to tell you this and take this to the bank, with that offensive line, Phillip Rivers is going to have a great season with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm telling you guys this right now, and I will go straight out there to say this. If that offensive line is as dominant as it's been in the last couple of years, and it has been, and I'm not talking about Brissett, because Brissett was not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's not. Phillip Rivers is a starting quarterback. Now, is it the same Phillip Rivers we remember 7-8 years ago? It isn't.
It's the same one in close games.
But he's a great quarterback that will have weapons to throw to. T.Y. Hilton, he hasn't had a speedy wide receiver like that. Now, he's had good wide receivers, but a guy like T.Y. Hilton, who's one of the best route runners in football. Mm-hmm. And
Deep
to me,
too.
but he is a route runner. Mm-hmm. This guy can run every single route and be as dominant, and everybody knows the ball's going to him, and you still can't stop him. So having a player of that magnitude, he hasn't had a player like that since Tomlinson. The explosion of what he could do in the backfield. And Melvin Gordon he's a great running back, but he's not LaDainian Tomlinson. No. LaDainian Tomlinson did everything. Wide receiver was a wide receiver. You can do everything with the LaDainian Tomlinson. He was so explosive. He hasn't had a player like this. And now T.Y. Hilton, he's in the prime of his career. This could absolutely help the Colts this year with that Reich offense. And Reich, he knows Reich's offense. I think he could be unbelievable this year. Indianapolis could be one of the teams to watch this year, especially with their schedule.
Mm-hmm. It'll just be a matter of if he can win close games. Is that a Chargers problem, or is it a him problem, or is it both? We don't know, because that'll ultimately be the difference in what is still a pretty good division, and a division where the head-to-head matchups will matter if they want to win that division over the Titans or the Texans.
Well, I'm not even talking about that, and I'm not getting into next year or when the football season starts. I'm not even getting into that. What I'm trying to say is the quarterback position is an important position, but there are 20 or 30 other positions on a team that you're going to have to look at now from organizations and say, oh, well, maybe that's the most important position. So the two positions that I feel are the most important positions in professional sports is 1, pitching, and 2, goaltending.
Okay, goaltending was my number 1. So,
and I'll tell you, I'm not taking away from how important a quarterback is, but we've seen plenty of years where a quarterback, not a superstar quarterback, wins Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, when he won his last Super Bowl, he wasn't a superstar quarterback. He wasn't even a great quarterback at that time.
He was getting outperformed by Brock Osweiler that year.
So just think about it that way. And he won a Super Bowl because of a great defense. Mm-hmm. And what the defense did in the playoffs was absolutely amazing. And Von Miller was a tomahawk torpedo. That's what he was. So, again, it isn't the quarterback anymore, because you need to fill in specific positional players if you expect to win. Now, everybody thinks, because Tom Brady's going to the Bucs, they're going to win a Super Bowl. Now, I'll just let you guys know something. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. He'll always be looked at as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. He's going to an offense he's never played under. He's also going to an offense that he has not played under in his career. He's played in a different style of offense, a different game style and the way they make the calls. And he's not calling the plays. Bruce Arians is calling the plays. And you know Bruce. Bruce is not going to tolerate Tom Brady standing at the line of scrimmage and screaming at him like he did to Bill Belichick all those years. Because Bruce Arians doesn't take crap like that.
I trust Bruce Arians more than I trust Josh McDaniels. So
he's not going to sit there and say, okay, Tommy. Okay, Tommy. That's what I will tell you that. Are we going to put somebody on the phone? Who do we have on the phone? Welcome to Down to the Wire. Who are we speaking to?
Oh, buddy, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. We're talking.
What? Actually, no, not really. But what's the topic?
You're such an idiot.
How everybody thinks that everybody should stay inside?
No. The topic right now is what is the most important position in professional sports, and I've been arguing points.
Ownership is the most important position.
Well, I'm not talking about that. And we all know that building a team and having the right owner behind the team is going to give you the best opportunity to win championships. There's no question. But that's not what I'm talking about. Positional players. When you look at position, when it comes to hockey with goaltending, baseball, pitching, and obviously we were just talking about the quarterback. Everybody thinks quarterback is the most important position in now professional football to win championships. And I say, no, it isn't. Not anymore. What is the most important position in your eyes and why? By the way, we're talking to Mikey C.
Well, in football, the reason why it's the quarterback, and I understand everybody says defense wins championships, but defense is a multitude of players. So the reason for the quarterback is because you're kind of in charge of your team to make sure you try to go down there and score. So the quarterback will still stay the most important position in football because of that reason, because defense is all about the team. Quarterback is understanding the audibles and changing signals on the fly, in a sense. So that's the reasoning for that factor.
So you're saying...
You can't separate a defense as being the most important part because the defense is a team-oriented aspect.
You can change it by looking at a defensive player, how he can change a game more quicker and more important than a quarterback can. A quarterback...
No.
No. There are defensive players in many, many career games in professional football in the playoffs that completely took over games. One of the guys in Lawrence Taylor, who we saw took over games with a blink of an eye.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing, but those types of things are a little far and few between. There's not many Lawrence Taylors in the world.
There are a lot of great defensive players.
There's a lot of good ones, but a lot of them don't make the Super Bowl either.
Yeah.
They're not in the Super Bowl. To get to the Super Bowl is already a hard feat to accomplish. And then when they're in the Super Bowl, those types of players, like for example, right now, the most disruptive defensive guys that everybody talks about is technically Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack has never sniffed it, and Aaron Donald went once. So that's where I feel you can't go by that. But there's a quarterback at every single Super Bowl. Those game changes on defense don't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but when you watch the game, there's very few quarterbacks that play well in a Super Bowl. So you also have to look at that. He could be a great quarterback. He goes to the Super Bowl and he doesn't play well in the Super Bowl. So
you're right, but also you also got to take into consideration because you have a 2-week layoff. A lot of teams are not replicating what they've done all season.
Which is good game planning.
Kind of brings out a brand new play calling all the way around, in a sense.
Which you have to, because if you do the same thing you've always done, good teams will recognize it.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't...
That's game planning, though. That's not position affiliated.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the quarterback position. And again, it's not even... we're taking away the quarterback position. We're trying to pick the most important positions for each sports, and some people say it's the quarterback. I say for baseball, it's pitching. Well,
baseball is pitching.
And
you're the one, right?
And hockey, it's goaltending. So I said, correct. To me, what are the two most important positions out of all three of them? And I would say goaltending and pitching, because we've seen teams over the years, and we've seen teams.
Well, your favorite guy, Van Beesbrook, single-handedly brought the Panthers. To the finals.
Yep, and so did, and all those years, and you can say whatever you want to say about the New Jersey Devils and how great they were. Martin Brodeur was one of the main reasons why they were all the time making or getting close to the Stanley Cup Finals and winning those championships. They had good players, but they never had elite players besides Scott Niedermayer. They really didn't have elite players. So say whatever you want about the New Jersey Devils and how great they were. They were a great organization, ran superior by Lou Lamoriello. But again, it was goaltending that got them where they were.
Well, it was a combination of a lot of things. They had a few not elite players. They had a lot of great players. And see, hockey is also a different sport because they also instituted a system, a defensive system, once they got the lead. So that's part of coaching.
Yeah,
So
but they could afford to take those chances with a great goalie, though, too, if they want to.
Right. No, I know that. No, I'm not disagreeing about the goalie aspect, but, everybody considered them as boring hockey because once they got a 2-1 lead, the game was pretty much over because Marty Brodeur was one of the best goalies, ever. And then they changed it to, the trap system, and that was it. That was it. So, I mean, it's a little different, because in hockey, I mean, it's always great to have a great player, but it's not always needed.
Right, and you need depth in hockey, too. You can't just win on one player either. You used to be able to do that to some extent when there was original six and older eras, but now you need depth. But again, with the goaltending, a lot of great goaltenders just historically tend to win.
Correct.
And in pitching, we all know, and we've seen this over and over again, usually the team that has the best pitching staff going into the World Series is more than likely going to win the championship. And you can go up and down all the rosters that have won in the last couple of years, and most of them had very good pitching staffs, especially in the World Series. So, I look at pitching because I believe, and we're going to get into another story that I want to get into, and why I think baseball...
I think you're nuts about that. But
I think baseball will eventually be the number one sport in America again. I do believe it. And I'm going to tell you why. I have a whole take on it coming up next. But I will tell you this. When I look at all the sports, I think goaltending, out of all the sports, those are what... If you have the best chance of winning championships, it's goaltending. Because if you have the goaltender and you know that this guy can go into those big games and keep you in the big game, you don't need a big-time offensive team. You don't need a big-time defensive team because you got that guy behind it, the backbone, that can keep you in games. And that's why everybody says, and Mike, you know this more than anybody does, we say this about the Islanders. The Islanders, the one reason why the Islanders will never go anywhere as a championship team is because they don't have the goaltender that could take them there. Right or wrong?
No, they don't have a lot of things.
No, but we understand that. But if they had a top-end goaltender, they would have better chances to go into a playoff series where everybody counts them out. They have not a chance, and go in with a goaltender that can absolutely win you those games.
I don't know. I beg to differ, and the reason why I say that is because let's lose. Since you brought up the Islanders, well, you use the status of last year's playoffs, where, in all honesty, even though Robin Lehner had a career year, he's got a great goaltender. Christ had a good year. He's got a great goaltender, and those two played well enough to win games. The problem was the Islanders didn't score enough. So I don't. I mean, because the goalie can get hot. Like everybody points to the Van Beesbrook aspect, where he took a no-name, lousy Florida team and pretty much won a lot of games, 2-1, 1-0, stuff like that, 3-2 games, very low scoring because he was just
one of the greatest.
He was on top of his game.
Yeah, one of the greatest runs you ever see a goaltender do in a playoff run, and going throughout the regular season, it was a sensation. Everybody will remember it in 1996.
Because I know you brought up the Islanders, and I feel that the Islanders didn't have proper scoring or enough scoring to win those games because the goaltending was sufficient enough. I mean, obviously you need great goaltending to win the whole thing. Because I'm not going to lie, Carolina had Peter Mrazek. He wasn't good. He really got hot at the right time. But what it was is that Carolina scored enough and won games. So it can go both ways. But to me, if I had to choose, it's the pitcher. Because on goaltending, you rely on a couple of things, your defense as well as everything else. And I know you can say on your head, but the pitcher, you're solely up for, if it's up to you to get 27 outs. If you can mow them all down, it's all on you. So if I had to take one, I'd take the pitcher.
Well, it's also
the ball's in your hands. The ball is in your hands. When you're a goalie, the puck is not in your hands.
Yeah, the puck is in your hands.
So that makes it harder and more important if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but you're a wall. And if you're a wall, and there are a lot of goaltenders over the years, I could call them walls. You'd be lucky to put the puck behind them. Dominic Hasek being one of them. In the 3 or 4 years that he was the most dominant goaltender, they called him the Dominator. You could throw it wherever you want at the net. He's more than likely going to stop it.
That makes it more valuable when you don't know what you're doing.
But he had also an unethical style of play.
Yeah, but there were other goaltenders just like that. Eddie Giacomin. And yes, Eddie Giacomin was a totally different. He kind of gave back the stand-up, release, butterfly style of goaltending, where it started to really develop the Eddie Giacomin time. Yes, the development of goaltending or what it was and what it is today is completely different. The big size, tall, powerful, big, strong goaltender to the very small, very athletic, cutting down the angle style of goaltending. It's changing now to a stand-up style of goaltending because these goaltenders don't want to go to the body. They don't want to go down to their knees. They want to stay up top and protect the net the way they do with their their glove hand and the blocker style. So I do believe that the goaltending position is the most important because I think the understanding of knowing that you're going into the game and you got to try to put the puck behind that guy. And a pitcher, you'll figure it out. If he doesn't have his game, you're going to figure him out. A goaltender, even when he's having a bad game, when he's a big-time goaltender, he'll find a way to close it down in the big game. We've seen great goaltending. I hate Henrik Lundqvist, but when Henrik Lundqvist was on the top of his game, Henrik Lundqvist was the only reason why the Rangers were always going to the Eastern Conference Finals or even the Stanley Cup Finals when they got swept by the LA Kings. Okay? We all know the reason why they were there was because of Henrik Lundqvist. Okay? So we know what wins those games. And even with a great goaltender, they couldn't get over the hump because in the long run, they had a hot goaltender too in Jonathan Quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was just as good at that time and a better playoff goalie. So that's what ends up happening. And Quick was like that too 2 years ago, taking the 8-seeded Kings to win the Stanley Cup too.
Yeah, so you just don't know. And that's my argument here is, Mike, you might be right. Maybe the pitcher is the most important.
It is the pitcher.
Yeah,
only
that's your opinion.
Hands. The goalie, you got to stop the puck. The pitcher, it's all up to you to make those pitches to go get your out.
But I think it's harder though when you don't know what's coming to be able to do that. That's why I think it makes it more important. Whereas with a pitcher, you could adjust to that in terms of controlling what you can do. Mm-hmm. Where with the goaltender, he could shoot early. He could make a move at the net. You don't know what kind of move he can make at the net.
Your defenseman to try to block a shot.
Yeah, and your defenseman could redirect it. You don't know what's going to happen.
And that's why I think the goaltender is the most important position in professional sports. And that's why I think when you look at the difficulty of the position and understanding what the goaltender needs to do in the game to keep his team in the game, he could change it. A goaltender can change a game. So could a pitcher. But here's the thing. Eventually the pitcher gets tired. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they get tired because in a playoff game, good lineups will wear you out. They'll keep fouling the ball. You'll strike them out, but eventually you'll have 110, 120 pitches, and you're going to have come out, and then you have to go to a bullpen that you don't know if can keep you in games.
I also think on a bigger field, too, with 8 other guys out there, obviously there can be bad defenses, but defenses can still help, too. Batters, again, can also swing under it. They strike out a lot too because of the analytics now. I just think there's also more factors that could contribute to helping a pitcher, and that's why you don't see 500 hitters. That's why you don't see 600 hitters. The best hitters hit 330. That's still getting out 6.5 times out of 10. So again, you're judging that. Whereas again, hockey's shot percentage I know is lower for stars, and hockey still generally benefits the defense more, but statistically baseball has always benefited the pitcher to some extent because of that extra help as well, even for average pitchers and even slightly below average pitchers.
Well, thank you for that sincere lecture of intelligence, Speedy Petey, and make sure that you take those intelligence into the sales of vibrators.
Oh, God.
There you go. And on that note, guys, enjoy. It was nice chatting with you.
Thanks, Mike.
And I'll
call you later. I'll call you later.
Bye.
Mikey C, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, my old partner, calling up, arguing points, why we think certain positions should be considered the most reliable and most important position in professional sports. When we come back, I have another story I want to get into. A
I
story
think you're nuts on this.
that I believe that Major League Baseball will eventually be on top of the world again in United States professional sports. And I'll tell you why here when we come back on Down to the Wire. 631-965-4990 is the number. We'll be back after this.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Attention, fantasy sports fans. Does it strike you as odd that the popularity of fantasy sports continues to grow, but the game itself never seems to change? Drafting players to be a part of your fantasy team is cool, but are you looking for something new? If you're a sports fan and you actively look for new ways to have fun and compete while watching sports, you gotta check out StatementGames.com. That's StatementGames.com. Statement Games is a new, simple, yet innovative form of sports gaming that is changing the way thousands of fans view sporting events. With Statement Games, you select player and game props or statements to compete in tournaments for prizes. Sign up for free using your Google or Facebook account. No credit card or debit card information is required. Try StatementGames.com today and watch how we take fantasy sports to the next level.
StatementGames.com. That's StatementGames.com.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her, just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Oh, a little Weezer, baby. Who likes Weezer? Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I was just like Betty. Oh, I was Mary Tyler Moore. I don't care what they say about us anyway. I don't care about that. All right, there we go. 631-965-4990 is the number to call. As you guys know, this is Down to the Wire. We are live every single Monday and Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern New York time. As you guys know, I am here with the great and boring, polite, annoying, vibrating champion.
Oh, God.
Speedy Petey.
I knew you were going to say something.
Round of applause for Speedy, everybody.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
The vibrating champion, Speedy Petey, right? Are we right, Speed?
There's no competition for that.
Well, how is it not a competition to be a vibrating champion?
Why would that be a competition?
You want to sell vibrators. Did you not tell me that?
So why would I be a champion of it if I want to get rid of them?
But you're not getting rid of them. You're making money, so you're a champion of making money by selling those vibrators. Am I right or wrong, guys?
I don't know.
What? But you just told me that you wanted to sell.
That doesn't mean I know how well everyone else has done. It's not a market.
It is a market for vibrators. What do you mean? There's a huge
I don't
market
have the
for it.
numbers then.
Well, the numbers are high, and the percentages. You have a better chance of getting a vibrator than hitting 300 in baseball. Did you know that?
That's a scary thought.
That's not a scary thought. That's the truth. I'm serious. So to me, when you think about Speedy Petey, and I know a lot of people fall off about what we talk about, we do like to go off topic sometimes, but Speedy told me the other day that he would like to go out there and sell vibrators. And I said that I could oblige him. We just need a contact salesperson to give us a little bit of an introduction to give Speedy the opportunity to do such a thing. Anyways.
So how to bore me in 3 hours. Okay, sounds good.
Well, I want to get into MLB conversation, and this topic has really given me a reason to talk about on this radio show. And I believe that baseball, yes, professional baseball, will eventually be number one here in the United States again. America's pastime. Everybody said in the 90s completely fell off because of the strike, because of everything that happened in the 90s, which I blame a lot on Bud Selig, but that's just me, because Bud is an idiot and he's a moron. But I also believe when you look at what baseball is and what baseball will be and has been worldwide, I believe that the transition of the different ethnic nations out there that are playing baseball, that are dominant baseball players, Dominican Republic being one of them, a country that has unbelievable baseball players, Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States now, we have some crazy good, talented baseball players.
But that's one region in the world, though. That's not worldwide. Outside of Japan, if you're judging outside of the Western Hemisphere, which other country's huge with baseball?
Well, Australia's getting big now. They're getting big in baseball. Yes, they are. There are more Australian professional baseball players than you think.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, well,
it's not a big national following within its country, too. It's probably the equivalent of what the NFL is to England. It's the same kind of thing. It's not it's not going to surpass their primary sports that it's going to make it that big where you could judge it.
Well, soccer will never be big. Soccer will never be big here in the United States.
Right.
It's just not. It's not going to happen, and it never will be.
But again, the same thing with Australia. They have their rugby and cricket. They have their own soccer. There's a lot of things they're into more right now. Even they're big with basketball too. There's a lot of things where baseball is outside of Japan not really the primary thing.
I'm not even talking about worldwide. I'm talking about the United States.
Well, you said worldwide.
Yeah, but the fact that the United States, everybody says, well, football has been dominant really since 2005 and above. It's really taken over. And nobody gives baseball any shot to take over again. And I beg to differ on that.
But why, though? Because
I think baseball
is huge for football.
Well, here's the thing. Baseball right now, say what you want, is starting to become a sport that people want to play because they want to stay away from football. Because of the CTE injuries, the injuries that we've been talking about year in and year out. And some of these players, these parents, are going to push them and stir them away from professional football.
Right,
and
but
away
what does that
from
have to do
football.
with watching football and consuming football?
But that's why I'm saying baseball will take over eventually, because some of these parents are going to push them to go and play professional baseball because you have a better longevity and a better chance to be a successful athlete than going and playing professional football.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that that's not true, because the NFL average lifespan, I think, is 3.5 years or something like that, whereas baseball is probably closer to 7 or 8. You're judging two things that I don't think mesh. Playing baseball as a young kid versus playing football as a young kid, I think don't have to really do with whether you like a sport or not. You say it all the time. You played hockey, but your favorite sport to watch is the NBA. Mm-hmm. So why can't a baseball player enjoy watching football more than enjoying watching baseball? I don't think it really correlates.
I think it correlates a lot. I think most professional baseball players are big, huge baseball fans. They watch baseball religiously. They might be football fans, just like there are football players that are more big into basketball than they are into football. Mm-hmm. So you're absolutely right. But my thought in professional sports and where the United States has transitioned from baseball to really football, I think can absolutely transition again back into baseball because of the different styles of game. And now you look at the best players in professional sports. I believe Mike Trout is the best athlete in professional sports in every one of those sports.
But again, it's going to be harder for them to consume Mike Trout just as
a sales tactic.
Right.
Well, they're not going to be able to sell him. Absolutely right. But that's because he's not LeBron James. He's not going to go on producer or dance around on TV the way he does on these stupid television shows. No, he doesn't do that.
Right, and that's makes it harder just with region, just with the way the sport is. They're trying to grow into having it be more star-oriented. The problem is it's just a game where that isn't the case. You still need team baseball, good managing, obviously stats, anything like that, to win in baseball, where, again, you could win with stars in the NBA. So the NBA, it's about the stars, and you see them all year. You see them featured in these primetime games, stuff like that. And they, just with the way highlights are too, and consumption of social media, football and basketball seem to be very marketable in terms of those highlights too, those flashy players, and then also for football, especially fantasy sports consume into that too. Draft
that has
season,
nothing to do with my argument looking at professional
but that
baseball
all goes
transition.
into popularity.
No,
though.
it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It goes into the popularity world of the way the transition of what their parents are going to push their kids to do more as they get older.
But that doesn't factor into the entire judgment of popularity.
Yeah,
though.
but judgment.
It's all around consumption.
Well,
of
the
sport.
consumption of the sport, of the way the sport is and the way it is developed, and how there's 162, 150 games if they want to switch it to. There's still more games, more years. More year to watch it, and more connection with the players than you do in professional football, because there's only 16, now 17 weeks of professional football.
Right, which makes every game matter more.
That has nothing to do with the
you're going to watch something that matters more.
The growth of a sport to the other sport.
You're going to watch something that matters more, though, too.
I'm sorry.
So every football game, because it's that short of a season, gets that kind of following. In addition to, again, fantasy in addition to other things that make it more consumable. Same thing with basketball. There's a lot of good featured games that they want to see the stars play against the stars because it's direct. They're guarding each other a lot of the time. LeBron James versus Kawhi Leonard. They're going to be guarding each other. That's going to be direct. They want to see all that. And again, the consumption makes a difference. You say it all the time. NBA is the number one social media sport in the world.
It is.
Consumption matters, and that'll keep it popular. And
It's
going
still
back to your
not-
other thing,
it's still
basketball.
not number 2. It's still just number 2. It's not.
It
even,
is no. I know it's number. I know
number
it's number
2 right
2.
now, yes.
It's number 2. I understand that, and I think it's going to stay that just because of the way football is.
I beg to differ.
Football is consumed drastically because of 1, the shorter season, 2, its ability to brand stars, and 3, also its ability to stay relevant.
Brand stars. That's why their stars don't make any money when it comes to shoe deals and drink whatever soda deals or whatever.
No,
the heck
I
they
get
have.
that. I'm not
they
saying
don't
that.
make anywhere close to basketball and baseball players.
Well, yeah,
It
because there's
shows
more
you-
players.
Well, it shows you how much respect they do have for the NFL players, that they're in one time and they're out the next.
Because there's more players.
More players.
There's more players in there's more players in football.
Just
so
put Snug
you can pay them more in terms of more players on a team.
Spit it out.
There's more players on a football team, so you can't pay them $40 million a year like you do in basketball.
Again, that's not my argument here. When I'm looking at baseball and how the sport can really be completely transitioned, especially the amount of time that it dominates the sports wave, and it really does. From the summertime all the way till the wintertime, it's baseball. It's all baseball until basketball starts at the end of October, or the middle of October with hockey, and it's still on top because it's the playoff time. So I think it dominates a lot of professional sports in the amount of time that it's on. So, Snug, what's going on, man?
Oh, my goodness. I've got to say that this whole coronavirus thing has been great for me calling into the show. I love it. I have plenty more time. And, Stevie, I do like the yellow shirt today.
Thanks.
So, I wanted to call in and say I have to agree with Stevie. And I think that baseball is kind of a dying dinosaur. And I think you're downplaying soccer in the United States. There was a Forbes article that came out last year, and I'd be happy to forward it to you if you'd like.
You could do
But
that.
What's that?
You could do that. It's still not going to change. It's still not going to change my thoughts of what soccer is right now here in the United States.
And is it American soccer, or is it soccer fans rooting for international teams?
It's American interest in soccer. So basically, the popularity of the league increased like 27% between 2013 and 2018. And they were talking about the most valuable team in the league is worth over $330 million now.
Yeah, I think it's either Barcelona or Real Madrid. I'm not sure.
No, I'm talking about MLS.
Oh, you're talking
League
MLS.
Soccer.
Okay.
American
I
soccer.
meant in
We're
the whole
not
world. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Real Madrid and those guys are worth billions. They're like the Cowboys.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I think what you're seeing is, you're right, there's going to be a shift away from football because people, it's perceived as dangerous. It is for some folks, maybe not as much for others. But I think you're going to see that drive towards soccer. They were talking about, in the article, the Atlanta franchise has had an average attendance of 51,000 for like the last 5 or 6 years. Something crazy like that. That's
I think they're their second most popular team after the Falcons in terms of attendance.
Yeah, so I mean they're beating the Braves, and the Braves are pretty well established, and they've been a decent team the last few years, and they're getting better.
The Braves are going to be a good team this year. They're going to be really
the Braves are a playoff team this year all day long.
They're a championship team this year. They're a championship team this year. The Braves are going to be really good this year. Really good.
I mean, a Braves Red Sox World Series would be super entertaining.
Yeah, Red Sox won't go there. That's not happening.
Well,
that's not happening. That's a dream. Unless they cheat again, they could do that. That could happen.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Oh, that's the Boston way. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
All right, let's go investigate the Celtics now. We'll see what they're doing.
That's the Boston way. That's the Boston way. Let's cheat.
And the New York way is to sit back and just go, oh, they're cheating, but we're not going to change. Everyone else is doing it.
Listen, we don't have to cheat. We'll sit back and eventually we'll win. That's what usually happens.
The Giants beat a team that got caught for Spygate.
Well,
got caught. Really got caught twice.
Tyree did something magical.
Yeah.
Good for him. So at least he'll always be able to get a free dinner in New York. He's going to need it at some point because I don't remember that career lasting too much.
No, he only played one more year after that. He was actually a Pro Bowl special teams player, but he only played 1 year after that.
Well, that 1 year after that was kind of a courtesy, but hey, it was money well spent if you're the Giants. I'm sure the Cowboys will sign him in the offseason. Don't worry about it. They love to pick up high-priced talent whenever they can. So.
You're an idiot. You and
I
Jeff.
am an idiot.
You and
That's
Jeff.
what makes
man.
it great.
Yeah, you guys are nuts, both of you.
Who's the bigger idiot, though? That's the real debate.
Well, that's a good question, and we can get into topics later on in the show. But I do want to say that I believe baseball will take over the United States sports waves eventually, and I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I see 10 years, 12 years down the road. I think baseball will take over again. I think the transition of the game and the way the game is going to be people and parents are going to start pushing their kids to play baseball more than football because of all the injuries and what it could do to your life as you move forward in your career or whatever you want to do after football. I think you're going to see baseball really take over again because I think baseball is a finesse sport where you're going to make a lot more money than any other sport because you're practically you're really your own agent. You're your own company. You're your own corporation on the baseball field.
But that's based on the structure of them having no salary cap, and that also doesn't correlate with the popularity of the sport. It's not judging on young athletes.
Parents are going to tell them.
Parents
are going to tell them
players.
Parents are going to tell them to go and play baseball because you have a better chance of making more money and have a better opportunity to have a better career playing professional
right, but that doesn't correlate with what you watch, though, or consume.
But how do you know that? Well, if you're drawing more fans to the sport, they're going to watch it, okay? Because the sport is popular. And that's what parents... Listen, when you hear money, the first thing an American hears is, what could I do in my career that's going to make me a lot of money? That's what American does. You know that, Snug, too, just like anybody else. That's the first thing that pops into your...
making money is great.
Making money is the number one thing to excite everybody. Some people have passion, like we do, but there are people that want to make money. That's what they want. Dollars. No, they don't care about anything else. And that's why I'm telling you, baseball, it's going to be like that. This is a business. And parents are going to tell them, like, listen, you have a better opportunity to become a big-time superstar in baseball, make more money than you can ever imagine, and then own the organization 10 years from now.
Well, think about it like this, though. Here's an interesting thought. So, baseball probably will take it over if all the other major sports go out of business. That's true. But the number of positions available on a major league squad is, we'll say there's roughly 1,000 guys every year. There's injuries and some of that, right, floating around. So there's about 1,000 people in Major League Baseball at the highest level every year, more or less. Think about it in terms of soccer. There are unbelievable amounts of opportunity to get paid to be a professional soccer player. I believe Germany has 3 or 4 leagues, and I think Italy has the same number. And I believe that there's international leagues now. There's South American leagues. So if you want to be a professional soccer player, baseball still has a danger factor. I think you're underestimating because someone's throwing a really hard thing at you really fast, and there are people who get injured and or die from that. Not very many, but it does happen. So if you're going on the safety concern, I would argue that soccer, for the most part, you're probably suffering more leg injuries than anything else out there, which you're going to sustain running anywhere, or even on the ice if you're skating. So I would say that if you're going to go on the money theory, soccer would actually probably be a better bet for your child because we know most people are not going to play at the highest levels. They're not going to play the Division I in Italy or La Liga or anything like that, right? But there's quite a bit of money to be made. It's sort of like basketball. There's a lot of leagues around the world you can play in and make decent money.
I don't look at the MLS. I don't look at the MLS to be a world power of an organization.
I don't think he's
anytime
referring
soon.
to the MLS, though.
Yeah, but he has brought up the MLS, and I think he's talking about soccer and how it's really developing here in the United States.
No,
as
I
a-
think he's talking
a top
about
sport.
American-born players playing in Europe.
I understand what he's saying, but he's saying American, looking at the sport of soccer here in the United States is another way of saying that you're going to make more money doing that than playing professional baseball the way it's intact over here in the United States.
No, not that you'll necessarily make more money here in this particular league or this particular area, but there is opportunity. Professional soccer players, hands down, make the most money.
Oh yeah, no question, because they make pounds.
Stupid money.
They make pounds more than dollars, and it's a completely different thing when you're making 350 million pounds. Okay, that here in American, it's like $700 million. So it's a lot more money. So of course, yes.
So what I'm saying is that the opportunity just to be a professional player, to be compensated for your skill, is much higher in soccer, just because the total number of leagues and the total number of decent leagues that are respectable that have, it's not unreasonable to make a couple $100,000 in some of these leagues, which is outstanding money to be a professional player. Whereas in Major League Baseball, there's only 1,000 slots, and a lot of those are spoken for every year. I mean, there's a few that come open, but not nearly as many.
No,
and I know they're going to increase the minor leagues, so that'll help, but it's still not sweet enough.
Again, that isn't my argument to say what you're saying about looking at professional baseball and then looking at professional soccer or whatever, European football, to be the other sport that can take over. And that could be a good argument another day. My argument here is I believe that the MLB will eventually be on top again in professional sports at one point or another here in the United States, because I believe in the thought of where baseball is going. And now the driven, and listen, everything that happened with the Houston Astros, everybody thinks it's going to hurt baseball. It's only going to drive more people to watch, because they're going to want to watch the Astros get beamed every time they go up to the plate. So every time you watch the Astros, you're going to have an opportunity to see maybe benches clearing out, and there's going to be fistfights all year round, because I can tell you this right now, there is going to be fights throughout the season with the Astros and other teams throughout the league, because there are going to be people trying to beat them. And it's going to turn into a big outcry in Houston Astro world when the season starts. I think it's going to be fun.
But those
to
kinds
watch.
of things aren't going to happen every year, where it's going to correlate to the overall consumption of the league.
I think when you look at baseball and really the drive of parents trying to take their kids away from watching and playing football, and there are parents doing that. There are parents keeping them away from that. And you remember in the olden days, a lot of football, and football was not popular. It wasn't the sport to play in the the 50s and the 40s. It was baseball. That's what everybody wanted. Now it's transitioned into football, but now people are starting to look at their bodies and the injuries and their careers, the short careers that they have.
So they're not playing it as much. That doesn't mean they wouldn't watch it.
I think it's not about watching it. It's about driving these fans to watch and really keep their minds on baseball than they are with football. I think,
but you could still enjoy playing football and not have to play it in tackle football. You can play with your friends.
I'm not saying that.
You could play flag football. There's other ways to do it where you can still enjoy the sport.
I think the way the sport is going to start to be brought back to the center of attention. I think baseball will get there again. I really do believe that, because I think when you look at the stars, there isn't a superstar right now. There's a great player, superstar in Mike Trout that plays professional baseball, but he's not the center of attention. He's not the Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's nowhere close to what Mike Trout is. If you had that guy like an Alex Rodriguez, where he was on top of the world and he said crazy things, baseball was on top of the world when Alex Rodriguez was the biggest superstar in professional sports, because of guys like that, a guy that can take over the sport on the crazy crap that he says and then go on the field and be as dominant as he is. Mike Trout's that guy, but Mike Trout is not a guy that opens his mouth selfishly and says, you know what, you can kiss my ass.
But again, it's also consumption in the sense of kids when they're young. They want to see the flashy
millennials.
Names.
And that's
they want to see the flashy names do crazy things. That's why everyone loved the wide receivers for a while. That's why everybody in
So
maybe
you can't
my
see crazy
age group.
things in the outfield? Unbelievable
Not as
grabs
much.
defensively?
Not as much.
Oh,
But
give me a
also when you look at
Kirby Puckett.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying there are no good defensive outfielders. My point is, when you're a kid, you want to
Ken
see
Griffey Jr.
Yes, you want to see the
Vladimir Guerrero.
Right. That's not
Ichiro
I'm not
Suzuki.
denying that. There's no good defensive outfielders. When you look at the kids watching these kids make crazy catches, one-handed grabs, they watch all these videos. NBA, they watch these guys do crazy dunks. Like, they like all that stuff.
And what about doing crazy catches, going out for crazy dives, going out to hit
There's not
freaking
as much
power
of that
home
in
runs?
terms of the consumption, though.
Well, your consumption is a beard, a little shave, and using those vibrators for your own special needs.
I want to see somebody do a cartwheel and then make a catch in the outfield, and I think the millennials will track with that. Or if they bought one of Earl's vibrators in the outfield and, showed what to do with that before the catch, that would get national attention.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Oh, Snug.
Will that be on Debate Hour?
No, that won't be on Debate Hour. You know what will be on Debate Hour? Not talking to you, Snuggie. So
That's disappointing.
We should let Snug do a debate hour every once in a while.
that would be funny with you and him. I don't know how that would end up, but that would be a whole other story.
Speedy would kill me. I would just say stupid things.
Well, you do say stupid things anyways, but some of the quality things you say take away from some of the stupid. So
I'm seeking balance in my life.
well, you are balanced, that's for sure.
One of the questions that I proposed to Speedy for Debate Hour, I don't know. Did you pass it along, Speedy?
I'll have to hear which one it is.
If Earl was exposed to the coronavirus, would they have to quarantine Earl or quarantine the virus?
All right. Well, thank you, Snug, for calling the show. We'll talk to you another time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure.
There you go. Snug the cat. He's crazy. He's lost it. He's Snug. Anyway, 631-965-4990. This is Down to the Wire, and guess what? We'll be back after this.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next-door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Okay, Simon, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. And what do people normally wear?
Clothes.
Exactly. So now Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Clothes keep us warm, they look good, and if we go out without them, the neighbors will talk. So it's important to know how to get dressed. Here's how it's done. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. If you're wearing a tie, it goes over, round, through, and pull tight. Tuck your shirt into your pants and zip up your fly. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears.
I love bunnies.
Good to know. Now remember, spots don't go with stripes, socks don't go with sandals, and if you've tucked in your shirt, wear a belt. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You need me too. That's why I'm singing this song, and I'm tired too. I know you. You know me. That's why I change this song every day, because I know you. That's right, here we go. Ah, there we go. 631-965-4990. That's why I don't sing, guys. That's why I don't sing. I'm not what you call a superstar rock star. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting next to Speedy, Dan Petey, the vibrant thing. That's what we call him. The vibrant thing.
Back with this stuff.
Guys, we needed a nickname. Speedy Petey, the vibrating man. Or we can call him the vibrant man. I like that. The vibrant man, you like that?
It's better, but it's still exemplifies. It still exemplifies the same context.
You're the vibrant man.
You want to get in. It still exemplifies the same context.
So. No, the context, the contest of who you are as a person, because we call this a contest because you have splitted personalities, and we split your personalities in so many different ways.
Sure, that's fine.
But the context always comes back to the vibrating man. And I think with the vibrators that he's going to be selling in the near future, with his name stamped to it, I think that this guy...
That wasn't part of the deal.
Yes, it is. That is part of the deal. You said that
Well, then I'm charging them extra. If you want my name personalized on it, that'll double the price.
On a vibrator, I think it would be big, and you sign it.
Double the price.
You autograph it. I think you
that's
should
double the price.
Well, I don't know if your autograph's going to be worth anything. Maybe Jeff's autograph on it. Maybe you have Jeff sign it for you.
Okay, well, don't bring him into this.
Why? I think Jeff signing your name to that, vibrator could be a huge hit here in the United States. Maybe you can get sponsors and they could sponsor in all different ways on all different parts of it. What do you think?
No?
Not
happening.
I think it would be a great sales tactic for anybody that wants to promote a vibrator. You go to Speedy Petey, he'll help you sell it. I think it'd be really funny, actually. Oh my God. I'm losing myself right now.
You're having way too much fun.
I'm having a lot of fun today. I am. I'm in a happy kind of way today. I am just in one of those moods. So anyways, I do want to get into this Cam Newton situation. And I said it, and I'm going to say it over and over again. Cam Newton, everybody keeps talking about Tom Brady being the biggest and the best quarterback that was available in free agency. Take that off the hook, because if Cam Newton is at 100% or even 99 or 98%, I would take a great 98% Cam Newton over Tom Brady right now. I would. And I'm going to tell you why. He's in the prime of his career. He can dominate games. He was a league MVP. And at one point of his career, he was the best quarterback in the NFL. Now, do I think he is going to be the best quarterback in the NFL ever again? No, I don't. But if he's a top 5, top 6 quarterback, which I believe he has the ability to be, that kind of Cam Newton I would take on my team in a heartbeat. Now, I don't know what Cam Newton wants. If Cam Newton wants to play and he thinks he can play at a high level, I would take Cam Newton right now on any one of my teams.
It also depends on what kind of offense you're going to now, too, because the league has changed a lot from when Cam Newton was dominant and was a top quarterback in the league. And a lot of people thought of him as an elite quarterback. Even his MVP year, the teams are structured a little differently where you're going to need the right fit. And that's why I said yesterday when we were doing debate hour, in the right type of RPO offense, he could definitely be rebirthed. Otherwise, it'll be tough, being that the types of receivers he'd be playing with would be different. The types of coaches he'd be playing with could be different. And that's what can make it hard for somebody who's already injury prone. And when you diminish his value in terms of trying to caution him and be a pocket quarterback, he's not the same guy.
Again, you can move him, just like you bring in a Mike McCarthy, who I do not think is going to work with the Cowboys because the offense just doesn't fit what his style is as an offensive guy. I look at a possibility when you look at the position and the way the position is held and really the drive of the way the quarterback position is in the NFL now, it could change everything. But Cam Newton can go on a team right now, like the Miami Dolphins, who are right now a borderline bad team. And
they're a bad team.
Borderline bad team because you don't know what that draft's going to be. That draft could completely change everything for that organization. And they have a lot of draft picks for the next 2 years.
It's possible, but again, you need the right kind of fit for Cam Newton though too.
I think that there are going to be teams that are going to be lining up for Cam Newton's services. I do believe it. and you guys might think I'm crazy, but remember this team, the Buffalo Bills. And you can say whatever you want about Josh Allen and how it's going to hurt Josh Allen's growth and everything like that. The defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers all those years was who?
McDermott, but...
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
And you look at Cam Newton right now. Josh Allen, he plays a position where he likes to put himself in harm's way. And you tell Josh, listen, we're going to bring Cam in. Cam's going to be going out there. He's going to practice hard. He's going to play hard in the preseason, and may the best man win.
That's understandable, but you also have to factor in the money aspect. Cam Newton is still going to want to be paid as a starter, and rightfully so.
I don't think he's going to get paid as much as you think he's going to get. Not his first
year.
No,
but he's going to get.
You got to see how healthy
he's still
going
to be paid as a starter, though, and I think from
no,
that.
He's not going to make more than $9 or $10 million. He's coming off a shoulder surgery.
I think he'll make more than that.
No, he's not.
I think it'll be more closer to the 13, 14 range for him.
I don't think so
because I still think, like you were saying, when he's healthy, he is a good starting quarterback, and in his best years, he was a top 5 quarterback. Now, in the Bills' case, one, their GM is very smart in terms of managing money and in terms of draft picks and smart signings.
Yeah, he's real smart.
He is.
Yeah, he's real.
He is. He's one of the better GMs in football.
So, he's really smart.
So in order for that to happen...
That's why they haven't won anything.
Yes, they didn't win anything with bad ownership before that.
They haven't won anything.
This GM is good.
He hasn't won anything.
Okay.
Let's see what he does. And when he wins, when we'll talk how good he is.
All right. The best GMs aren't the ones that win everything.
He hasn't won anything.
John Elway, one of the best GMs in football?
He won something.
Okay, was it because of him?
No, but he...
okay,
but
so that doesn't necessarily
Hold on 1 second. He did draft some of those players that were a big part of those championship teams.
Okay, some isn't the majority.
A majority of teams, you know this like anybody does. You can bring in another mind to help grow or potentially grow the product and bring in 2 or 3 of your own players from your organization and completely transition the team to the way you think the team should be or should have been from day one before those players. So again, a transitional way, you have to look at it that way. I mean, there's a lot of arguments to that, Speedy, to the other thing that you're saying.
Well, again, going back to Cam Newton, though, he knows that Cam Newton is going to want starter money. Whatever that is, he's going to want starter money.
So what? And he's going to get it. $10 million.
They're going to
get.
Okay, they're
Teddy Bridgewater money.
I think he'll get more than that because he's a more proven commodity than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater...
Again, he's coming off a bad shoulder surgery.
Teddy Bridgewater wasn't coming off bad knee injury?
Yes, he did. And that's why Teddy got 10, and he's going to get 10. That's what he's going to get. He's got to prove himself.
Right, but Teddy Bridgewater has to prove himself more just because...
Why? Teddy Bridgewater was...
Cam Newton's was backed well from injuries in the past.
All right, well, he didn't the last couple of years. So that's been the problem with Cam Newton. He can't stay on the field. Teddy Bridgewater, he came back. He hasn't been off the field. So say what you want about what Teddy is or what Teddy wasn't. Teddy was a pro ball player.
For 1 year, yes.
Yes.
Before the injury.
Yeah.
So,
he was still young in his career. He was 23, 24.
No, I know that. I'm saying that because of Cam Newton's track record of bouncing back well after
Not
injuries,
after a shoulder surgery this significant. This is worse. This is his throwing arm. Football, it's all about throwing the ball, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
It's your throwing arm.
Okay.
You talk about somebody like Teddy Bridgewater, he didn't hurt his arm. He hurt his leg. And to me, he still had
You still have to get power off,
I know
your back leg, especially.
Yeah, but you need your arm. You need your arm, you need your shoulder. Shoulder is the most important thing.
But I'm just saying that still for Cam Newton, he was never great.
$10 million. I'm not giving him any more than that.
He was never great because of his big arm all the time. He had a big
million.
arm. He could make good throws. He could throw on the run, and obviously he could run. That's why
Final
he could do
offer, Cam Newton.
I think he'll end up getting more from a different team. I don't think...
Don't be so surprised if he doesn't go to the Broncos, too. I could see the Broncos taking him, too. I could. Even though they have a good young quarterback that played very well at certain aspects of the season last year, to bring in somebody like Cam Newton in the prime of his career, it's a no-brainer. If he's healthy and he could prove that his arm is healthy, teams should be lining up for him because he's as good as any quarterback right now in the league when he's 100%.
Now, the question is, do the Broncos have the coaching staff that would tend to him is another question, because obviously their head coach is defensive, so that wouldn't really matter. It's more their offensive staff, which I don't think they really did those kinds of things with Drew Lock or even their quarterbacks.
I'm saying that any team, there's teams out there.
Right, I understand that.
The Chargers, another team.
The Chargers, I think that could work because Anthony Lynn's coaching style, when he was an offensive coordinator and a running back coach in Buffalo, he was doing a lot of that stuff with Tyrod Taylor. So that kind of thing makes sense. That's where I think those teams would pay him the most, where they would still pay him more than $10 million. And those are the teams that'll end up rebirthing his career most likely. So while I don't think the field will be as big just because of the injuries, he's still going to get more money because of that.
I don't think any team's going to pay him more than if anything, $10 or $11 million. He's not getting any more than that. I can't see it. Especially from that significant of an injury. And even if you see him on the field that he could throw the ball and make every single throw, you got to see him in the big game when somebody's coming at him trying to kill him. So.
Which he's neutral at. We've seen him throughout his
career.
But
that's different when you're getting hurt.
In the playoffs, bad
Jimmy
times in the
Garoppolo.
playoffs.
Go look at Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo was unbelievable. When we watched him play before he hurt himself, that he was completely not afraid of doing anything. Running, moving in. Then he tore his ACL. He's not the same quarterback he once was. He now won't step into the pass. He'll move outside the pass and throw the pass on the
which
run.
is why I said his market is going to be limited because of that. You're not going to have him.
Not him. I think this year he'll get a $10 or $11 million contract. He'll prove himself, and then he'll get his big time deal after that, because there'll be teams lining up at 31 years old saying, oh, this guy's got at least 4 or 5 really good years left.
Right, but it also depends on what style of your team you are. Because Cam Newton in his Panthers career was good for the most part, but was awful. Also a pattern year to year. There were some years that he wasn't
Every quarterback
as good.
is, except the elite ones.
Well, okay, to an extent, but again, and a lot of those years,
you can't compare him to Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Drew Brees.
I'm not trying to do that.
Look at Ben's. Ben's not always good.
No, I know he hasn't been recently either. But my point is, in the years where Cam Newton has been down, it's because they've tried to be cautious with him and have him turn into more of a pocket quarterback. If you're just judging pocket quarterback abilities, he's not going to have the same value. He's kind of, in that point, an average quarterback. If you add his other abilities, his throwing on the run, obviously his running ability, the RPO offenses, the play action concepts, then he turns into the top quarterback that
What's
he was.
the other story, Speedy? I want to go off subject on this one. What's the other story we wanted to get into?
Noah Syndergaard.
The great, the wonderful, the no longer New York Met, Noah Syndergaard.
Really? You think he'll be traded?
I think he's a free agent after next year. And I think right now, you're not going to get a lot for him, and by the time he becomes a free agent, and this year would be I think he has 2 years left.
I'm looking.
I'm pretty sure. But this is not a good sign for the New York Mets, and it's not a good sign for Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard, he came into the league like lighting on fire. Everybody thought he was the next big superstar. You talk about the pitcher. I think he has...
Yeah, he's one more arbitration year after this year.
So, 2 more years. And Noah Syndergaard won't be back until next year at the last his contract year.
Mm-hmm. Now that could lessen the arbitration price if he is injured, and maybe the Mets would take him back at that point. But again, would he stay after that? Would be the question.
Noah's not going to stay after that, and
that's why you can't trust with the Mets at all.
I think that this really hurts the New York Mets on keeping Noah Syndergaard. I think they should have really went after Zach Wheeler and really pounced on Zach Wheeler in the offseason, because I think Zach Wheeler is going to play very well with Philadelphia. I really do. I think Zach Wheeler is going to play very well against the New York Mets, like everybody else does. But I think Zach Wheeler is a good pitcher, and he's been the second best pitcher for the New York Mets in the last 2 seasons. So
in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he's been the better pitcher. So losing Noah Syndergaard for a significant torn... what is it? You are UCL? UCL, which he needs Tommy John surgery. Mm-hmm. It's a big loss. And it'll be a big loss for the Mets because he won't be back until next season, middle of the season, which is his last contract a year. I don't think the Mets are bringing it back. He's going to want to be traded. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be so surprised if somebody will actually make a trade now. You're not going to get a lot for Noah Syndergaard, but you might have to do that. Because
that's what annoys me the most, is because I think the Padres and the Astros were both giving them great offers at the trade deadline for Noah Syndergaard last year, and they didn't do it. So now you're looking at it, his value is going to plummet big time, and even if he does maybe pitch at the end of the season into a small sample size where he can get into that, that's closer to his free agency. So teams are even going to be more leery to do that too and just sign him after the fact. So
Exactly.
that's going to make it hard for the Mets to get anything now. So again, their best
Trade
case
him now.
scenario.
Trade him now.
Well, no, because you're not going to get what you want. Their best case scenario is going to be hope he comes back earlier than expected in a large sample size, where the 2021 trade deadline should be their target point. Hope he can come back before then. I don't think he will, but hope he can come back before then. And then, again, if he still doesn't come back, then try to trade him at that point. Because you're not going to get a lot anyway. You're not going to get...
It kills them. This whole...
It does.
This kills the Mets.
My point is, though, it's not going to be...
The Zach Wheeler move, deciding not to bring him back, absolutely kills the New York Mets.
What I'm saying, though, I think is the difference of what they would get now versus what they would get next year is still going to be the same just because he's an injured pitcher. I don't think it's going to drop off that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't mind waiting it out, have them try to get something back because, again...
They're not going to get a lot back for
No, they're not going to... No, the value already plummeted. No matter what ends up happening, the value already plummeted. My point is you might be able...
And that's why my argument here is it was a big mistake because they had a chance to re-sign Zach Wheeler and they went off the head on this and let Zach Wheeler go for what? What was it, $115 million?
I think it was 5 years, 125.
I would have...
Which I think was more than the market was going to be anyway for him.
No, I think the market was right there for him. Zach Wheeler in the last 2 years has been one of the best second-half pitchers in baseball. And to get...
But has also been inconsistent and riddled with injuries too, though.
That's true. Like every single pitcher in baseball, practically. Every pitcher is riddled with injury. Every one of them.
Right, but Zach Wheeler's, again, top-notch season is not going to warrant $23, $24 million everywhere like he got.
I think Zach Wheeler is going to prove to be one of the best pitchers in that division and one of the best pitchers in the National League. Because I think Zach Wheeler, he needed that one step, and now he's got Joe Girardi coaching him. And I think Joe Girardi's going to help him understand the game and using the plate a little bit more to benefit him in the way he pitches. So,
I mean, it's possible, but I think he's never had a season, I want to say, better than a 3.4 ERA or something like that.
Yeah, but you look at the whole season. You got to look at certain halves and look at what he does at certain times where he can take over.
Well, yeah, sure. But again, every pitcher has that stretch. If you're, again, not an awful pitcher, every pitcher is going to have that stretch too. Teams judge more now on larger samples more than anything else. That's why free agency is a lot more stingy in baseball now. They don't look at certain years of a track record. They look at what you can do in the future. So
I'm a little bored from this conversation.
A 3.31 ERA in
I'm
2018 being your best year is not going to warrant $25 million across the league. The Phillies were the exception to the market.
That is Speedy, guys. That is Speedy Petey. He likes to take things to a whole nother level. So if anybody wants to get a vibrator,
here we go.
Go out to the Speedy Petey store and go speed away with the Petester. So we'll have a song, we'll have a drop, we'll have everything for Speedy Petey to wiggle and maneuver and show you guys how to do the cabooser. What do you think?
The caboosa?
Yeah, the caboosa.
What the hell is that?
That's your dance, the Speedy Petey dance. God. Anyways, when we come back, Debate Hour with me, Speedy Petey, and everyone else here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well,
we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see with an emoji.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. Feedthepig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth? You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock-sponsored mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do you wake up in the air? Let me feel the way. You smell like a fart. Why do you smell that way? 'Cause you are Speedy the Pete. You need to learn to sing. You need to learn to spell. I want to wake up after all. Make sure Speedy's not next to me. So why don't I slide? Yes, slide. Ooh, wanna let it slide now. That's me. And Speedy. And you. Six 965-4990. That's me being an idiot, ladies and gentlemen. You only get to see that once in a blue moon, because I try to be serious on this show. But we got Speedy right next to me, and he does smell a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right, Speedy. I like you anyways. Anyways, you guys know this as the biggest and the best time of your lives by listening to Speedy talk all the junk that comes out of his mouth.
God.
Not his mouth, the mouth of him. So we're going to get into this part of the hour in
Debate Hour.
Here we go.
This is the Debate Hour. And now in this corner, your host, Errol Marks. And in this corner, who gives a
Motivate you.
Round one.
Let's get it.
Round one. Which NBA legend is most comparable, in your opinion, to Magic Johnson?
Let's go, Speedy.
You can pick anybody here.
Get it, Speedy.
I am going to take Oscar Robertson in this. Something different. I think sometimes you want to compare eras of what they would do today. Would this player strive today? I'm gonna backtrack here because Oscar Robertson was a very similar, well-rounded player.
Any NBA player, and that's the guy. Okay.
Because again, for his era, I think that he was similar. I mean, the numbers are very similar in terms of his assist totals for his time. And again, the players, and granted the competition wasn't as big back then, but again, the players he was playing with were also not the same as the 80s, the 90s era of basketball. There was a lot more talent then, and just a lot more athletic ability back then. And when you're judging Magic Johnson, he was a big point guard. I think he was 6'7" or something like that. And Oscar Robertson was 6'5", but 6'5" at that time was pretty big because the body types weren't as big.
You like it big,
then.
right?
Whatever. I don't know. I have no strong opinion on that statement.
Oh, so you don't like it big?
I don't know. We'll see.
You like it small or big?
I don't know. Depends on what it is.
But what happens if it's something big?
Then I'll take my chances. I don't know. But regardless, that was big for that time because again,
it was big.
The athletic bodies were not as big back then, so there weren't as many 6'7", 6'8" guys back then.
Yeah.
There were a couple, and again, they were big men. So
big men.
To compare those types of guards, I think it makes a difference.
He likes it big.
Robertson could obviously shoot a lot better. Magic Johnson,
a big man.
Magic Johnson wasn't really a shooter.
Small man.
But he could shoot back then. Again, shooting at that time was very limited. There wasn't a 3-point line back then. So he was shooting mid-range like Magic Johnson could do at times.
Was he a big man?
Neither of them. No, we're comparing point guards here.
Okay, I'm lost here.
Both of them could shoot free throws well, and again, both of them were good defensively. Robertson, I had all those triple-double records
Had long
for a while.
reach, big.
Right, and for that size,
because you like it big. That size.
God, they were so weird. I think in terms of their style of play, they were very, very similar, and in terms of them being big guards in that time, makes a difference. God, maybe I have to. Oh, God, no. God. So yeah, as a whole,
he likes it big.
No, I'm not going to use that word anymore because you're going to make it weird.
Why? You like it big.
Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson were both tall point guards.
Tall, there you go.
That could do very similar things at that time.
Very
both
long.
Phenomenal passers. Both were double-digit assist guys at their time. And both were good attacking point guards, again, for their particular times, where neither time they wasn't really an attacking point guard league. It was more of a passing,
being long.
Attacking, passing point guard league. So that ends up making a difference. So I'm going to take, after all that oddity, I am going to take Oscar Robertson.
Because they're big. Yes.
Because they're tall.
Okay. It is LeBron James.
Ooh, okay.
LeBron James, what he's done for the NBA and the transition of the game, you brought back that style of big point forward that could play multiple positions, defend multiple positions, do the things that he could do on the court, not only in big games, but in games that he needs to take over and take over really the game right into his own hands. LeBron James, what he does at the size he is and how he does it, going to the hole and drawing contact from players in the NBA, it's comparable to Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was very, very good at that. Magic Johnson was a little bit better shooter than LeBron James was, but LeBron James has developed his shooting skills years in his career. And what I like about LeBron James that I loved about Magic Johnson is his will to win. His understanding of going out there, no matter who is beside him, what star is beside him, he has to be the best player on the court. And that was Magic Johnson, and that's LeBron James. And that's why, if you were to ask me who I would try to compare Magic Johnson to, it would be no other than the King, LeBronny, James Zito.
James Zito. There's a new one. All right, round two.
Round two.
We shift to football now. Which team?
Small.
Which team
Small.
with a good showing in this NFL draft combined with what they did in this offseason can turn their team from negative to a positive, have the best chance of doing that? So I'm going to take one of my teams that I wrote in my offseason winners article.
Bigger team, right?
I don't know.
Vibrating team?
I don't know. They have a small quarterback, so judge for yourself.
Small and they're vibrant, right?
I don't know. How do you judge what's vibrant in football?
Well, you vibrate the possibility.
Their uniforms aren't vibrant because they're not vibrant colors if you want to judge for that. Beyond that, I don't know what else you want to judge as vibrant in football.
Well, you can add a vibrator to it, you know?
I will not judge their personal lives unless they do something stupid, but I won't judge that end of their personal lives like you like to do.
At the way end, right?
I don't know.
Way of the shaft, right?
No. God, you're weird. All right. All right, so I'm
having some fun.
I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals. I think they have had a very good offseason so far. Obviously, the big move trading for DeAndre Hopkins, but they've also done a nice job shoring up their defensive side of the ball, which was a big issue for them last year. Now, again, wasn't one of the worst defenses in the league, but wasn't great either. You bring in Devondre Campbell, you bring in Devon Kennard to help out that. You got a good corner depth with the youngsters they got, and then you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, who's a big star power wide receiver, maybe the most skilled receiver in football right now. That'll help expand the playbook for Cliff Kingsbury. That'll help, obviously, Kyler Murray out, and it'll help the young receivers not have to take number one reps all the time. And the Cardinals last year did very well on a very tough schedule. They had to play the AFC North, which was a good division for the most part, even though the Bengals 6-10 or 6-9-1 with the tie. Amidst all that, now they get a really easy schedule this year. They know they can address offensive line in this draft. It's year two of the coaching staff for a lot of these teams, and again, I really think what they could do is make a difference with the tackles, with the offensive line that they could draft, running back depth if they want to draft another running back. There's a lot of different things they could do because Cliff Kingsbury is a college-type coach. He'll know that kind of thing. Steve Keim, except, again, for certain things, has been a good GM for the most part. And I think what he's done with this offseason has really made a difference so far. So if they do draft well, draft the offensive lineman they need, maybe a couple pieces on defense. This could be a really good team because, again, the Niners could have a Super Bowl hangover. The Seahawks, you never know what they are. And the Rams are turning into what the Dolphins used to be. They're paying a bunch of guys, but they have a bunch of holes. They're regressing downward. So I think the Cardinals, with that easy schedule they have this year, AFC East and NFC East, they can jump up this year and make a difference. Last place schedule, good offseason. I like it for Arizona.
I think it's the Miami Dolphins. I think when you look at the opportunity to maybe go after somebody like a Cam Newton and the players that you brought in the offseason, you brought in some good defensive players, good defensive leaders. You have some good young players. You're going to have a good draft. You have an opportunity to maybe bring in a Tua, who is going to be your future quarterback. You're bringing Cam Newton right now for 2 or 3 years. Give him the 3-year deal where you can have him there to develop Tua. It's going to take Tua maybe 2 years to really get that, that hip back to where they think he could be a superstar quarterback again in this league. By then, Cam Newton could be a free agent or could be on his way to another team, another organization. So who knows? Maybe Cam Newton is the future and you bring it to where Cam Newton's only going to be playing for 5 more years with his problem. So I look at Miami because of so much draft stock that they have. And this year, especially in the AFC East, it is a terrible division. The New England Patriots don't even have a starting quarterback. We don't know what even though Buffalo has made some good acquisitions, we don't know what they're going to be. We don't know what the Jets are going to be with the offensive woes and their offensive line is. And I'm telling you as a Jets fan, we don't know. And
which Adam Gase you're going to get.
Yeah, so we don't know. So this could be a division where Miami can absolutely win the division, especially what they did in the second half of the season last year, where they absolutely shocked the Patriots. So I'll tell you this. You can see a completely different Miami Dolphin team this year than you did the last couple of years. And I think they have a very good coach. So it's Miami.
Ryan Fitzpatrick ended the Patriots. All right, round 3. Our last one for today, going back to the NBA. Which current NBA point guard is most comparable to Hall of Famer John Stockton? So I'm going to take Chris Paul for this one. I think Chris Paul is very similar in terms of both of them were great with steals in their primes, great defensive point guard. Obviously, John Stockton, the steals leader all time, the assists leader all time, and that's exactly what Chris Paul was in the beginning of his career when he was with the Hornets, and even when he went to the Clippers. He had that streak, I think, of 103 or something straight games with a steal in 2007 when he was with the Hornets, which is a streak that I don't think you'll ever see again because defense is not the same in the NBA anymore. So when you judge that end of it, and also the way he passed, his vision on the court, I think was just incredible in his prime with, again, not a lot of talent around him. Stockton had Malone, he had some other guys, whereas Paul didn't really have that with the Hornets. He had that with the Clippers, so maybe to an extent him passing to a big man in Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan is also very similar. Obviously, none of them are Karl Malone. Karl Malone's one of the best power forwards ever. But again, in terms of the style of play and also their career paths, them having trouble winning a title, them just being just short in the playoffs, just to other teams like the Warriors, like Utah was, to the Bulls all these years, to the Lakers and other teams. I think their career paths are very similar too, in addition to their skill set. Now, Chris Paul's obviously a better shooter than John Stockton was, but again, he really had to grow with that too, and I don't think he really became that great three-point shooter until the game really evolved into the three-point shooting as well, when all these top guards were shooting threes. So I'm going to say Chris Paul. I think it's very obvious that their two paths are just as similar as they get.
It's good. And there's a couple of people that I could compare to John Stockton. But I think the transition of the game and the NBA style of game, Damian Lillard would be the guy that I would bring to the table. Now, Chris Paul is more comparable because he comes from the old school and the new school of basketball. I think when you look at Damian Lillard, he comes from the new school, the transition of the game of basketball. Damian Lillard can pass the ball. He can share the ball. He's a good leader, just like John Stockton. When he's not in the game, your team is not sufficient offensively without him in the offense. I think when you have a player of that magnitude and that good, it could change your team's dreams and where the team could go in a very near future. I think Damian Lillard is that type of player. He could take over games just as much as John Stockton did, passing the ball to the mailman. Now, Damian Lillard doesn't have that magnitude of player that he can get the ball to and completely dominate offensively like Karl Malone. McCollum is a good player, but McCollum isn't Karl Malone. They don't have a finisher of that magnitude. If there's any finisher in that offense, it's Damian Lillard. And so Damian Lillard could be compared best to two players at what he does and how good he does it. But Damian Lillard is the star player, the passer, the point guard. He's the guy that you could see. He is a great defender, very underrated defender. He can steal the ball. He can do a lot of things that you probably don't see enough of because he comes from Portland. You don't get the chance to see him as much. But Damian Lillard has specifically changed the game of basketball to the new style of game of basketball where I believe Damian Lillard is the best point guard in the NBA right now. That's how good Damian Lillard is when he's on the top of his game. I think that, and John Stockton was the best point guard in my eyes of all time because of what he did and how he did it and how he can control the game, stealing the ball, passing the ball, and dominating the ball when he has to take it up and down the court. That's what John Stockton. I just didn't like those short shorts that he wore. That I did. But besides that, he would be my guy, Damian Lilia man. Give it, Speedy Petey, Errol Marks, down to the wire. Oh, that's right. Speedy Petey, debate hour. Here. His name Speedy, as small as a pita baby. That's why he likes daisies. Scary man, but he knows how to pinch babies. Yes. Speedy Petey. Did you just hit your head on the...
I did.
That was good. That was a good rhyme, Speedy. Anyways, guys, I like to kid around. I hope everybody had a good time. Tonight was one of those nights that I just want to have some fun, enjoy it. We try to not be so serious on this show because there's a lot of serious things going on around the country right now, and I like to give people a different thought to what the world is and how funny you could be, and not have to curse on the show, even though you say some quality, crazy things on the show. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I enjoy everybody that stayed tuned and listened to the show, hear the replay, staying tuned with us, me and Speedy Petey, the Crash Monkey. That's what we call him, right?
Now you're bringing monkeys back again.
Yes.
Just when I thought that was a last week thing.
Why? You don't like spanking monkeys?
No, we went over this.
No, we didn't go over this. Why don't you like spanking monkeys?
Not today.
Yeah, but why don't you like spanking monkeys?
I don't need to make a vulnerable animal more vulnerable by harming him.
So spanking the monkey is harming the animal.
Yes.
Even if it's your monkey.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on Thursday for Below the Mic. The Morning Boys with Ryan Hickey will be on the show at 9 o'clock in the morning, his new time, 9 to 11. That's it. I think we've given you guys enough entertainment for the day. We will be back on Thursday. Until then, this is me, Errol Marks, and Speedy Petey saying good night and vibrate away tomorrow. Good night.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.